Hey, check it out. This is Trace of Masterpieces, and here we have a bunch of rocks that I've arranged in a specific order. And what is that order about? Why do we put things in order? Why do we line things up? Why do we arrange stuff? This is what this video is about. So, let's look at these rocks. I've arranged them in a specific way. I wonder if you could tell how they're arranged, because there's different ways of arranging things in life by the characteristics that they express. And here, what I have them ordered by is their color and kind of their texture. Actually, a bunch of properties, but they're arranged into rows and columns, five rows and 5 columns. Okay, let's take a closer look at them. Here we have a blue rock over here, and this other rock is blue, and I put them next to each other. I wanted all the colors to be kind of next to each other. We got the green ones over here, and within the green ones have certain differences. These down here are smooth and solid colors. This one's a little darker. Notice how I put the darker colored rocks to the left side, and the lighter colored ones kind of to the upper right side. These are kind of textured. So they're green, but they have a specific texture and splotchiness to them, okay? And I put those together, right? Here, these others are splotchy as well. This one's splotchy also, but they're darker over there. And it kind of goes towards a red color at the top. This one's red, a solid red color. Over here, these are clear. This one's like a quartz or something like that. These other are translucent, so they're next to the clear one. But this one's kind of like a pinkish, translucent color. And I put them up towards the top because those are kind of red. This one's a little translucent in areas as well, but it's bluish, so I put it down near the blue stone. These are kind of metallic and dark, so I put them over here, kind of separating them from the rest of them. It's like a spectrum, okay? They're all arranged. These are all splotchy, kind of cool looking. So, why do we do that in life? Because we do it everywhere. It's not just in this example, it's in other examples, like in the way that we organize our clothes, in the closets or drawers that we put them. It allows us to find things more easily. Because if things are all messed up, all jumbled up, we don't know what's what. We can't see the distinction between one thing and another thing. We have this natural instinct inside our minds to separate specific things into groups or into categories. We try to group things together. That's why we have like education systems that separate people into specific groups, specific grades, okay? And in their work, we also grade it using a specific measuring system like A, B's, and C's or whatever, right? And you can see that with on the ruler systems, the rulers that we use, the numbers, and different ways of measuring, inches and centimeters and that sort of thing. All specific ways of ordering, measuring, getting a sense of the size or the sum or the quantity, and that sort of thing. And it's all part of a pattern. Notice it's a pattern. A linear pattern is what it does. It's arranging things in a sequence where you kind of put space between one thing and another thing in like a unifying way, okay? So these are all ways of unifying something, finding similarities between one thing and another thing, and also differences. Okay? Notice how that in itself has this duality nature, this distinction between one side and another side, one extreme and another extreme. Similar versus different. Those are two extremes, okay? So we have this natural instinct, this natural sense of that, or at least we develop that through life. Like with our parents, they tell you to clean up and put away your toys, put things back where they were, where they belong, that sort of thing. That sort of pattern that of behavior gets imprinted in you, gets forced into you, right? Because people without experience, younger people, they don't know how to control reality. They don't know how to control themselves, because they can't comprehend all the different differences that are being bombarded or forced into their awareness, right? They haven't practiced that ability to discern between everything. So they're constantly developing that, and so you have to constantly tell them to keep focusing, right? That's what we do here. We focus on specific things, right? That focusing is just a technique of creating a distinction in our mind about something, right? If we're not focused, we're just kind of like looking around, not being aware of anything, just being like messed up, confused, okay? And you could take some of this stuff that I'm talking about, and you could kind of, if you don't understand it, it would sound strange because, just look at some examples with like metaphysical and like kind of spiritual type of stuff, or just strange things like I don't know. I don't really want to go too into it, but that's because they haven't developed all the right ways of like developing their message. Okay, like that's why we have books and things like that. People are like developing a way of explaining things, and even books are arranged in a pattern. You're expected to follow through it in a specific way, one word after the other, right? It's a patterned way of acting, of thinking, and you're expected to follow along and be controlled, kind of give up your control, and in order to be like in order to kind of acquire this understanding or this way of thinking, right? Basically, that's what it is, a way of thinking. And you can see all the examples in this book, how they try to order stuff as well with the different layers of rock. This is a book about rocks and minerals. And they show you all the different things, even, the glossary or the index or whatever is arranged in a specific pattern. Look at that, it even has like some sort of ruler on the side here with numbers. That's kind of interesting. But even the index is arranged alphabetically. The pages have numbers on them so they can go to a specific page, right? It's all designed to find what you're looking for. So what exactly are we looking for, right? What are we looking for? We're looking at all these different things, trying to find stuff. What is that training you to do? What is that exercising inside your own mind? What are you thinking about? There's a lot of things that are unknown. Maybe what's the real unknown is what you are yourself, okay? And if we can identify all these things, what can we identify about ourselves? That's the real question. What's all this meant to do, right? Because we do it, whether we have rocks or whether we have clothes or whatever. There's a purpose to it, okay? This pattern, it's a way of finding ourselves in the world, understanding what we are, what we're doing, why we're here, that sort of thing. We have all the different professions and specialized ways of living with teachers and scientists and whatever there is out there. And we're expected to stay in those places until we're needed, right? Until we have to perform our duty and that sort of thing. So, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. I wanted to share with you this pattern that's going on in life with one example. And I'll show you other examples when I create more videos. But I also have this microscope here, which allows us to look at things. Here we go. So let's look at stuff. I have this little microscope looking at this rock, this blue rock here. So we could look at all the textures. We could arrange everything by texture if we wanted to. We could arrange it however we want. We could arrange it based on size. Take the largest rock. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this other one. I don't know. It's difficult to compare them because they're all irregular shaped. We have to figure out the area or the mass, that sort of thing. Whatever terminology there is to describe it. Right? Where do these words come from in life? They come from the past. I didn't create these words. Why am I using them? And I'm using them so effortlessly for some reason, right? Because it's been forced in my mind, repeated over and over again. All the different ways of structuring the words in specific patterns to express a specific type of thought, type of line of thinking. Here's like a greenish stone. Wonder if you could see that. Here's this quartz one. I think it's quartz. It's kind of interesting when you see stuff at a different scale, different magnification. Allows you to appreciate other types of details that you weren't aware of. It's kind of the fun of looking at stuff, turning things over, finding new things that you weren't aware were there. Look at that. See little cracks and crevices and all sorts of stuff. Look at that. It's like a little round shape there. Notice how I use the word round to describe something. We have all these descriptive words. It's the word that I'm looking for. Sometimes we can't find the words that we're looking for. Because we haven't used them as much. To kind of fall to the back of our minds, become lost in in our storage, way of storing things. Like if you don't use something, it kind of gets pushed aside and buried beneath other things that you're constantly using, right? So we got different ways, different ways of creating relativity. Can't rely on one thing. That's why we have all this different stuff in life. It's all designed to do something, right? It's all doing the same thing. It's creating pattern. It's creating pattern. Look at this metallic one. That's kind of cool. It's all metallic and shiny. Take a look at these other ones. Whoa, look at that. It's all kind of splotchy looking. Kind of turn it over, look at it a different way. Wow. Those yellow splotches are kind of arranged in a line. And they have like this white line around it and then this darker line. There's all these different layers to it. It's kind of interesting how when things combine and come together, it forms these layers, kind of encapsulates things. That's why we have all these different layers to our body. It kind of encapsulates something, right? It's kind of strange to think about yourself, like what exactly you are, because you're all different types of things all combined. And it's all working together, and yet all the separate things are working alone as well, doing what they're designed to do. But somehow it's all connected, right? Somehow all this is connected. all these different patterns, all these different ways of ordering things, and we're kind of climbing over everything, grasping at stuff, measuring stuff, grasping, taking two sides, two extremes, taking two numbers, understanding the space between, how things translate, just like the words are a way of translating the thoughts in my mind, the stuff that I feel, the stuff that I experience, the stuff that I'm taking in, the stuff that I'm absorbing. Somehow I have to react and push that back out in some way. The energy's being stored, it's being contained. There's too much, I have to release something, right? We don't have much control, but we learn how to direct it, the energy, right? Because we don't have a choice why we're here. We're just here. Because things have kind of been pushed along, okay? So I'm kind of going off topic. I'm kind of going in all different directions. So in a way, this video is very unordered. That's okay. I'm just doing this as an example, seeing what the reaction is, that sort of thing. So anyways, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, subscribe, that sort of thing. Look for pattern in your life, okay?